You're entering VTV's Chamber Zone. Your business community at work. Representing the Vernal area and Duchesne County Chambers of Commerce, here's Adam Massey and Irene Hansen.
Hi, I'm Irene Hansen with the Duchesne County Chamber of Commerce. My co-host Adam Massey with the Vernal Chamber is out today, so I've invited a very special guest from the Roosevelt City Council, Albert Foster. Now, you're watching Chamber Zone. Of course, it's your business community at work. And Albert, thank you for being here with me today. There's a lot of exciting things happening in the basin, a lot of exciting things happening in the cities in our area. And I thank you for coming, because one of the projects that I'm hearing a lot about has piqued a lot of people's interest is the new pool and wellness project in Roosevelt. Can you give us a little bit of an update and a feel about how that's going? What are some of the things that are being considered for that project?
Well, thanks, Irene, for inviting me to be here. And it's great to talk about this exciting project that is finally going to happen in Roosevelt. Now, I'm from Duchesne, my whole life, been in Roosevelt for 10 years, and I think in the 10 years, this project has come up at least 3 or 4 times that people have wanted an indoor aquatic center. It's finally going to happen.
Wow.
Now, we'll need some help from the community and different entities, but this will be such a nice thing to have year-round swimming and exercise ability in our community.
You know, I'll tell you, I always think it's interesting. Health and wellness has become, people have kind of kidded us, what's with the wellness center name? But you know, I think we wanted to use that because it really speaks to what people are feeling nowadays with their health. Everybody's becoming more in tune. We're understanding the need for wellness, to keep ourselves active, and how much better that makes not only our future, but cuts down on healthcare costs. And so, but what are some of the amenities that people might look forward to, and what's kind of the timeline and some things that need to happen first in order for this to come to fruition?
Well, from where we've started and where it is now, it's changed quite a bit, and it will continue to change. More of the timeline would be right now we've got the designs from the architect, and we've got a plan, and the City Council has decided on the scope of the project, that it will include a beautiful indoor pool, an outdoor pool, and now we need to go out to the community and get some involvement from individuals, from companies, and then there's a process where the city goes to the CIB, the Community Impact Board, and asks for hopefully some grant money and maybe less of the loan, but a loan grant mix. That funding cycle would take place in October, so we would look to break ground next spring.
Well, you know, part of the excitement that I've heard in the community is this is Roosevelt Centennial. So
it is.
Everywhere we're going, there's a birthday party. I'll tell you, nothing's like having a year-long birthday, but in Roosevelt right now, it is a year-long birthday party. And so I'm noticing that some of the fundraising efforts are coinciding with that centennial celebration of trying to raise a little bit of money, raise awareness, and really make this Roosevelt Centennial project. And so I see a lot of community activities going on that are being utilized to raise awareness as well as money. Tell us about how some of those are going.
Well, one of the first kickoffs that we had was the cake show at Stewart's.
Yes. Uh-huh.
When the Arts Council threw that out, we thought we probably won't get a lot of participation, and we were just blown away with the quality of the cakes. They were so neat. A lot of them had to do with oil-filled oil derricks. And we raised, I believe, around $4,000 for the pool on just that day, with people stopping by and putting money in the cup. And we had a little thermometer there that said how much we'd raised so far and what the goal was. And I think people were getting excited about that. Now, another thing that will happen on April 5th is we'll have a health fair at Utah State in Roosevelt. And that will be all day on April 5th. All of the proceeds from that health fair will go to this pool, and we'll hope to raise awareness for being healthy and this pool.
Well, I'll tell you, what's critical in these types of things are partners. And, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the partnerships that are being developed. Now, Roosevelt City now is being kind of lovingly called the hub of the energy industry.
It is.
And I think we're starting to be we've always been proud, but we're starting to be very proud, and we're hoping that we might be able to tie in some additional partnerships with some energy partners. We also have a wonderful opportunity that's being pursued with our local Uinta Basin Medical Center. We're going to talk more about that when we return with Albert Foster from Roosevelt City, talking about the exciting wellness and pool project in Roosevelt. And we'll be right back after this break.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Welcome back to Chamber Zone, your business community at work. We're having the opportunity today to visit with Albert Foster from the Roosevelt City Council, talking about, among other things, the new Roosevelt Pool project. Now, as we finished up our last segment, we started to talk a little bit about partners. Usually projects like this just can't happen without partners coming to the table, without people stepping forward, without other leaders coming in. Now, I understand that sometimes we can learn our best lessons by visiting other communities, and I believe, were you able to go with the city council as a city council member, just last week?
Last Thursday, the council toured two facilities, the one in Emory and the new one in Moab. And our purpose of that trip was to see what their best practices were, some things we should do, some things that we should avoid, and kind of get an idea of what a facility like that would really look like in Roosevelt. And by doing so, both projects, we learned that they didn't do it on their own, that Emory did not raise the money, that Moab did not just have the money from taxes and whatnot to build the facility. They went out to individuals and businesses. For example, Moab, I believe, raised $2.4 million from the community to build their pool. And Emory did the same thing. They had a lot of different organizations come in and partner up. With our pool, we have the same thing going on. The hospital, Uinta Basin Medical Center, has donated $500,000 to this project.
Wow.
And then they've also committed to helping with the ongoing O&M, which, as we know, that is an expensive thing to run a swimming pool. We've also received a donation of $1 million from Duchesne County, and the city has over $700,000 saved up for the pool, with another $120,000 going in this year. So I think if you look at our dollar account right now, we're at over $2.2 million. The total cost of this project will be close to $7 million.
Wow. We
have a little ways to go. Like I said before, we can go to the CIB and ask for a loan grant, but we will need some money from other places in the community to build this.
And I think something we need to really keep in mind is that, no donation is too small.
No.
In other words, we've got kids that are breaking out their piggy banks.
That's neat to watch.
It is. And taking their allowance. And you know what? Roosevelt City has approved a special fund within Roosevelt City administration that has been set aside. You can take your donations or make a check directly out to Roosevelt City. And by the way, that is considered a charitable donation.
Tax deductible.
So it is tax deductible. And I think that's a great avenue for people to go. And again, I have to tell a little story about Uinta Basin Medical Center. I can remember almost 20 years ago, having the hospital administration come and say, you know, we would just love the opportunity to be involved, not just in healing, but in preventative wellness.
Right.
And I think this might be just that opportunity, and really could set Roosevelt aside as a community that's being very proactive. It's going to be a pool, yes, but my understanding is that we want to really achieve and integrate some real wellness practices, some things that can help families do better, feel better, and just simply live longer.
And I believe there'll be some physical therapy and other items in the pool that people can use. So,
well, Albert, this is one of many projects that are going on in Roosevelt City right now. Of course, we're getting close to spring. I call it spring. We've had temperatures over 30 degrees, so we're formally, in my opinion, in spring. And that does start to get you excited. We can see sidewalks again in places. The snow's melting. A little bit of grass is starting to show through. The golf course, you know, starting to get people excited. So what are some other projects going on in Roosevelt City since we have you here today?
One of the exciting projects we're working on right now is to put our decorative Main Street lights. We have them in our downtown area.
Right.
We will continue those down across the bridge to the Ballard City line. So we'll have the same type of lighting. When you come into Roosevelt as a tourist or someone that lives there, you'll notice that it's all the same, and it'll just look beautiful. Our downtown area will all have the nice decorative lights. Now, we received some revitalization funds from the county, a generous contribution on that. So the lights are primarily being paid for by that revitalization funds from the county.
And you know, that's another good example of partnerships. We just simply cannot get things done in rural Utah. What about legislatively? Several members of the City Council I know are planning on being to the Rural Day on the Hill, which is just a few days before the legislative session opens. I know we're always concerned about things that affect rural Utah and Roosevelt. So just in our final few seconds, is there anything that we're watching close on the legislative front?
We always want our voice to be heard and our people to be represented on the state side. There are a lot of interesting bills going on right now that we've been keeping our eye on. Hopefully our legislators will hear us and vote appropriately.
Albert, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming
Thank
today.
you.
He's kind of our rising star in Roosevelt. We're very proud to have him on our City Council. And thank you for joining us today on Chamber Zone. And please be sure and join us next time right here on VTV Channel 6.